gonna learn you something today.
We got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
So I want to take some time today to talk to you guys about soft plastics and how I fish them. And I want to start this with a disclaimer. There are a million different types of soft plastics, and there are probably 6 million different types of ways to fish those soft plastics. It's one of those things, though, that whether you're a beginner or an advanced fisherman, it always works, and it's just a tried and true every time. I really only use 3 different types. The first one would be Texas rigged, and you can Texas rig just about anything. I like to use the Senkos. You've probably seen them before. They're just a rubber worm. They sell them in 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch. When you Texas rig, you take the hook, you push it down into the worm, turn it back out. You don't want much there. Bring it up, spin it around. You're gonna line your hook up, figure out where it goes. If I can get the camera to focus. Hook's gonna go in and back out. Get this sit straight there, and there you have a Texas rig worm. You can take this little chunk right here, push it up, and let it fall back down into the hook. That's pretty weedless right there. Now a couple pro tips here is you want to be careful how much you push into this, the hook you push into the soft plastic. It'll keep you from getting the hook set. I mean, you just want it to pop right out. And how you fish these is you're going to cast it into the water, pick yourself a nice spot. It looks like, a big bass's bedroom. You're going to let it sink, and you're going to slowly lift your rod up, and then let it sink again. And if you do it right, it's got a nice little wiggle in the tail when it comes down. Reel up your slack and do it again. Lift it up, let it come down, and you'll see that wiggle in the tail. You can also take one of little torpedo weight, I've always called them, thread that on your line ahead of your Texas rig, and you have a weighted Texas rig. It doesn't come through weeds so well, but you have a really good way to fish deep water with this rig. You can Texas rig any sort of soft plastic, whether it's weighted or unweighted. Most soft plastics can be Texas rigged like this. I don't care if it's a ribbon tail, I don't care if it's a jig trailer, I don't care if it's a paddle tail swim bait. They can be jig rigged like this. The second rig I wanted to talk about was a paddle tail swim bait. I really like these. You guys have seen me tear it up on these this year. The only thing about these baits is that you have to use a special hook. I suppose you don't have to use a special hook. I use a special hook. This is a Tokar 4/0 drop dead hook. It's keel weighted. It's got 3 30-seconds weight right here on the back of the keel. And it even comes with a fancy little spring right there to thread your bait on. And what I do is I'll just screw the head of my paddle tail right into the screw of the bait. Again, I'll figure out where it's gonna line up in the back. Put my finger there or whatever I can do to mark it. Poke it through. And she's rigged up. Now, these have a really good action in the water. You can reel them in at different speeds. The tail's got a nice action. The weight in the belly adds a little rock to it. The types of retrieves you want to use with these, you're going to want to vary your retrieve. Real fast, real slow. You can work this like a Texas rig where you lift it slowly and let it fall and let the action work on its way down. And you can even jerk it every once in a while to give it that appeal, that look. Don't be scared to experiment around with any of those techniques and just find out what works best for you. The third type of bait that I wanted to go through were jig trailers. You guys have seen jigs before. Jig trailers, I could talk about these for days. But there's 2 basic types I wanted to go over. One is the threaded type. This is a Speed Crawl by Zoom. And this is a chunk. These both work really well. With the threaded, you thread it on just like a Texas rig. You push this little brush out of the way, thread it up on, let it come out. And these particular ones, these are the Heavy Hitters by Strike King. They have the spring in there. Keep holding your bait, so you have to spin these on. And if you have a larger bait like this Speed Crawl is, it can be kind of a pain. Now, if I was actually going to fish this lure, I'd probably end up cutting this down quite a bit just to keep it more nice and compact. When you thread a jig with a soft plastic like this, it makes a nice compact bundle, and it's really good at working through heavy cover. You can flip right on top of the lily pads, you can flip right on top of the weeds and not have a problem. The second one is the chunk. Now chunks are pretty simple. All you do, just like the name sounds, just hook it on the end. It creates this nice big presentation. This is perfect for jigging in open water. The downside to this is it's going to get caught up in any sort of weeds. Just being long and flowy like this, it's going to get caught. If you're fishing around weeds, I would definitely recommend using the threaded approach. And when you're working a jig, it's really easy. All you do is you cast it out, let it sink to the bottom, give it a couple taps, let it sit. Give it a couple taps, let it sit. When it sits, the skirt will expand and just come in a full plumage. Drives fish crazy. And the last thing I wanted to go over with you guys today is colors. Soft plastics come in all sorts of sizes, colors, anything. And a good rule of thumb is that you go off the water clarity. The clearer the water, the more natural you want to go. You want to go with your watermelons, you want to go with your pumpkin seeds. As the water starts to get dark and cloudy and mucky and you lose visibility, that's when you want to switch to your whites, your chartreuses, your blacks. Really stand out and grab that fish's attention. Well, hopefully I didn't mumble over my words too much. I didn't talk too fast, and you guys learned something today. If you like these videos or other ones like this, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And stick around, because next week we have another epic adventure coming. And I think you guys are going to like it. See you then.
We got one.
Got one?
Yeah.